Hello everybody and welcome back to Letterboxbookclub. Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we'll be discussing part 2 of Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros.
Should I read the blurb again?
Why not? Let's just refamiliarize ourselves.
Alright. Guess what I was doing right before I answered?
I don't know. What could you possibly be doing?
I was listening to the Prince of Egypt.
I'm going to keep this in. As you should, Queen.
Oh, right, here you go. Am I doing normal pace or am I doing my natural pace?
You can do natural pace.
Okay. The first year is when some of us lose our lives. The second year is when the rest of us lose our humanity. Zayden Ryerson. Everyone expected Violet Sorrengail to die during her first year at Basgiath War College, Violet included, but Threshing was only the first impossible test meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy, and the unlucky. Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even those designed to stretch the writer's capacity for pain beyond endurance. It's a new vice commandant who's made his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is unless she betrays the man she loves. Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everyone else's, she still has her wits and a will of iron, and leadership is forgetting the most important lesson Basgiath has taught her. Dragon riders make their own rules, but determination to survive won't be enough this year, because Violet knows the real secret hidden for centuries at Basgiath War College, and nothing, not even dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end.
I love that. It's just the gasps gets me.
I didn't need too many that time.
No. If you know, you know. If you don't know, Kenzie wishes she could speak at that pace for her entire life.
All the time. And that is the pace at which I read, so
Wow.
no wonder I miss things.
It's not skimming, you're just genuinely missing stuff because your reading pace is hard to keep up.
Yes.
Wow. Alrighty, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, Kenzie, go.
No, you first. Actually, no, I'll go.
You first. I'm sick of being the first.
As we know, I enjoyed this book. This is a great book. I am screaming, crying, throwing up. Although it was very hyped to have, like, the biggest cliffhanger ending. Like, a big cliffhanger. And I am just, it's on the same trajectory, I guess, of cliffhanger that the first book was. So I'm not shocked because I knew there was going to be something. I'm just now annoyed that I have to wait.
For sure. Do we know if when a third book is coming, or is this unknown knowledge?
She hasn't begun writing it yet.
Fun. We're going to George R. Martin this bitch. No, I'm kidding. Lovely. My thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
When did you finish it, actually, also? Because I finished it 2 days after it came out.
Okay. I finished it 10 minutes ago. Surprise, shouty. I genuinely don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm bamboozled, bro. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Part 2 had a lot going on, to be fair. So much political intrigue, lots of moral qualms. I loved the integration between the Griffin Drifts and the Dragon Riders squads and all that stuff. All these team bonding exercises. I suppose since finishing it, like, in the moment, there's no sense of urgency for, like, the Venom to be attacking. It's just all very sporadic. But then we learn that they're just, like, waiting for an opportunity to essentially, like, take Violet or whatever. The urgency pacing just seemed a little off and weird. Because, again, like, there'd be weeks, or they're living out the rest of the year because they're still going through, like, the yearly schedule and all that shit. Dragons doing dragon shit.
It was that they were waiting for wards to weaken enough for them to...
Yeah, for sure,
also, I'm not naked, I'm just hot, so I have, like...
That's okay.
A crop top on. Sorry, I don't even down here, it looks like I'm naked.
I wasn't going to question it. You dress how comfortable you want to dress, Kenzie.
Cool.
As I said, because I finished like 10 minutes ago, like, I just don't know what to say, genuinely. I was bamboozled, surprised, fucking Jack Barlow.
Remember last week when I was
like
they're enemies to lovers?
Truth is, he never changed. Violet is still incredibly badass and awesome in everything that she does. I liked Serena as part of the Griffin squad, and, like, obviously Kat a bit indifferent, or we don't like her because she's mean to Violet for reasons.
Oh, I'm indifferent.
I didn't like that it was the jealousy between a man type of thing. Like, yeah. I feel like in this day and age, in the era of Barbie, we did not need that.
Yeah, could she had not just have been jealous of her power?
Sure, or even just jealous of the potential threat of this crown situation. Yeah. And I did enjoy, I think, Serena speak out about that and be like, he's just a man, and it gave me he's just Ken vibes.
Yeah, and it was years ago.
He's literally just a guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I ultimately enjoyed it. Yeah, but I feel bamboozled. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. The cliffhanger at the end with Xaden and old mate Jack is just, what the fuck is going on?
Well, let's talk about part 2. Now, I'm not going to say it out loud.
Say it out loud, just go for it.
No, I'm going to ask you a question. The place where they are, that is spelled Aretia.
Don't do this to me.
How do you pronounce that?
Artia?
I'd like to know how the audiobook...
The audiobook is automatically wrong.
Aretia.
Aretia.
See, I'm out here saying Aratia.
Or Artia.
Or Artia, yeah. Anyway, okay, so they're in Aretia. They've taken the people back to Aretia who wanted to leave, Basgiath, and they're like, we're going to run out of supplies, essentially, or like, we need to make weapons, and we need this luminary. I don't even know what a luminary is, so the whole time I was really confused.
It was all explained in part 1, Kenzie. What the fuck are you doing?
I know. Also, the forge. It took me a very long time to realise that the forge was to forge weapons.
Oh my god. How have you survived? Honestly, sometimes it just when it comes to books, it's just about like the dialogue and the action. Like you don't care about the intricate details of things.
Yeah, exactly. And so then they're like, we need to go to where that other dude is. Not Tyrrendil.
I don't know the place, but it's Count Tikaris or something. Or Tekaris.
Tekaris, yeah. And so Violet's like, Lal, I'ma go.
Because basically Xaden is scared because Tekaris is like a collector of artifacts and magic wielders.
And people. He is the equivalent of Horace Slughorn from Harry Potter.
Is this just not Harry Potter rewritten?
Yeah, look, there's a few things that are just Harry Potter rewritten, but...
resembling.
We don't need to talk about it, alright? It's fine.
Oh wait, do you have any qualms? Kenzie?
No.
No? This is a perfect book for you. Perfect part 2.
Perfect part 2.
Wonderful. So yeah, I thought the whole meeting with Tikaris was going to be like a real big catalyst point, but then that didn't really last too long.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be, a big chunk of it, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I thought it was also just going to stir up animosity between the Griffin riders, the Dragon riders, and as well as just Xaden's interpersonal relationships, because he's obviously comfortable there and been there before, and Violet obviously doesn't know.
Yeah, and Tekaris is all like, I'll give you the luminary if you come, and like, I just want to see your powers, Violet. Like, I just want to see what you can do.
Yeah, that sounds like a fair deal.
Yeah, unbeknownst to them, he has a little venom trapped, and he puts it in a nice little arena, and he's like, Violet, do your thing, and so she has to kill the freaking venom, which is fine. And then also Brennan and Mira go with her, which is cute, like sibling team
bonding.
up.
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
Team Sorrengail, let's go.
Yeah.
And then we officially meet Catriona.
Well, we did meet her in part 1, technically, but okay.
Yeah, but, like, this is, like, more of, like...
As a royal life, or noble life.
Yeah.
The nobility of it all.
And she has the power to amplify your emotions.
Which is pretty cool. Pretty OP.
Yeah, but, like, she can't just make false emotions. You have to have the emotions to begin with. So she, makes Violet a little bit crazy.
And jealous. Honestly, were you surprised that Tikaris had a venom?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, it's just a chest. Like, why would you just have a chest as a target? Neck minute.
Oh, as soon as, like, there was a chest, I was like, oh, well, there's got to be something in it, but...
But interesting how, it's Xaden's father's, and then there's it's obviously used to trap venom. So what was Xaden's father doing prior to the rebellion life, you know?
Well, that's why they had the rebellion, because they knew about the venom. So
why
it was probably purpose-built.
Alright, I'm done. I'm sorry. I just finished part 2. Like, I don't know what to think anymore, you know? I've got the brain mush.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, Tekaris is like, well, if you're, starting this commune in Aretia, then you can take the Griffin Riders. they have to learn how to be a team, so they all
Bond.
have to go on this journey together.
The long
back
march.
to Orisha, because the griffins can't fly at the same altitude that the dragons can.
I know, so griffins are inherently inferior to dragons, which I like that. There has to be, I feel like, a superior species. Like just the circle balance of life. There's always a top dog and there's always a weak dog. And unfortunately for the griffins, they are the weaklings. But I suppose then, you know, they know all the rune stuff, so that balances everything out as well.
Yeah, and they can all, channel through runes. They don't have, like, signets.
Lesser magics. How did you feel about the team bonding aspects of this? Because it seemed very much like the first book, though it's not the actual trials of becoming a rider, it was like the trials of becoming a unified front. And it's very, very reminiscent of like the Gauntlet-esque activities.
Yeah, I
and stuff.
do also feel like it did take up a bit too much time. Because I was like, come on guys, you gotta hustle.
Yeah, that's where's the urgency to any of this?
Yeah, and then, I don't know, it was just, it felt unnecessary because they're coming to be a part of your new peoples anyway. So what's the point of, like, putting them through this? I understand, like, geographically they had to go through it, but why did it have to be, like, a plot point?
Teamwork makes the dream work. Think of, like, Tikaris. He's like, these are just cadets. Like, I don't need these guys. Yeah. Like, he sees them as indispensable, expendable, whatever the word is. And he was willing to give them up so easily. But I suppose they're trying to make the home base in, what's the place? Orisha. And I suppose in turn, if once Orisha is defended or strongholded, then it could then be replicated throughout. Too much team bonding, I think, for me as well. Because I was just going to say, if I read it throughout, it would get to a point where it would be a bit boring. Though there are part 1 and part 2 are quite different in terms of tone and pace and everything. But there was still that chunk of all that teamwork, the hiking, the wyvern attack, like the battling and learning and schooling with each other, with both groups. It did seem like a bit of a drag.
I think the only thing it really achieved was that Sloane has respect for Violet now.
Yeah, and that Cat now has some semi-respect for Violet as well. And that, they can work in a cohesive team. Like the strongest drifter group can merge with the fourth wing group and they become the ultimate Iron Squad.
Yeah, exactly. But that's fine. I want to talk about Xaden, not the end Xaden, but the middle Xaden.
Okay. With all these secrets, still?
Yes, because I think I asked you, I was like, do you think, like, this means or whatever, so what do you think of him being essentially King of Tyrrendor?
Oh yeah, you were saying, you asked me, do you know Xaden's official title?
Yeah.
I mean, I had the sense he was nobility of sorts because of the excerpts, like House Riorson. Like, no one has a house that's a huge fucking noun like that unless you are, like, of noble essence. Yeah. So he's a duke of Orisha. I liked that. First, I was obviously bamboozled. But because obviously he plays a bigger role just because he is
the leader of the rebellion children.
A leader of essentially. And there had to be more to it. It couldn't just be a random stray kid caught up in all this. Like,
and they're all staying in the House Riorton.
Yeah, so he had to be of significant influence, or at least his family name has. He's very involved. I liked that the whole royalty aspect wasn't overshadowing anything. It was like, I'm technically the Duke and I'm technically in line to be king or am king, but like that doesn't matter because what I worry about is this rebellion and saving all these people regardless. So I like that wasn't the forefront. Except obviously Kat's character was making it the forefront because of her squabble with Violet, being like, I'm doing this because I want to be eventually queen and all that shit and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, leave it alone, I don't care. Bamboozled, but not surprised. As soon as Kat said to Violet, I think they must have been on the mat beating each other up. She's like, throne, and then something about being engaged, and then that's when it's like, oh yeah, obviously there's something more towards Xaden. Yeah. Or the crown or something. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. Sorry, what was your other question?
That was just it at the title. What did you think of him being? Because I think this is going to play a very important role. Because obviously he's King of Tyrrendor, and then we have like Duke Tekaris or whatever his title is.
Viscount.
And then I'm sure that there'll be like something of Navarre. and then, oh gosh, I don't know, somewhere else. And I think that, yeah, there's going to be alliances and things.
There's going to be more political diplomacy and stuff.
And then especially with the assembly as well, because they can choose what they want to do, but essentially Xaden's the one that has to green light.
Yeah, the assembly is just formalities, I guess. Like there needs to be, I suppose they're very much an advisory role, despite this assembly doing fuck all in any of the battles, bar Brennan and Xaden. They're just the figureheads of the rebellion without actually doing any of the dirty work. I think it'll lead... When the series is eventually over, I think characters like Rhiannon, they're going to have like a Noble-esque title once rewarded for her
bravery
and bravery, etc. And characters like Riddick and maybe Sawyer, if they get his leg sorted out, you know?
Oh yeah, his poor leg. And I was like, I would like, so we've done the Varish as Umbridge. We've done the now Horace Slughorn from Harry Potter. And is this not Peter Malark losing his leg in the first Hunger Games?
Sure. And is Nolan not Mad-Eye Moody in a way? Or is that someone else? Or could be a different connection? Who knows?
Yeah, like kind of undercover. Not undercover, like double cross.
Yeah, asshole. Never forgive him. Obviously, moving forward, there's going to be political alliances in that respect in regards to Xaden's nobility-esque nature. I think he said that there's a guy named Llewellyn or whoever, like he's ruling in his stead and he's doing a fine job about it. Who knows, maybe Aric's father and stuff, they're going to have more of an influence in the coming books because of being royalty and, you know, they need to fight as a whole continent now, essentially. Alright, now that I think about it, I think I only have one qualm.
Oh yes, and what is it?
We started off the series, Basgiath is the home base. Basgiath. I knew you were going to do that. I don't know, in the moment, I always forget how to pronounce it, so I'm always going to potentially say it wrong.
It's fine, because I'm just audiobook, so I just hear the way that they pronounce it. But
it's the stronghold in the first book, very significant place, blah, blah, blah. Still a significant stronghold in the part 1 of this book.
Yes.
And then we leave for a little while in part 2, and then now, with the wards being restored... we're now back to that essentially becoming a stronghold again. It's like, I feel like there's an opportunity to explore, I suppose, perhaps other areas, but I suppose ultimately the goal is to protect the Vale, and if the Vale is in Navarre and at Basgiath, then we are, you know, this is probably where obviously the main story is going to remain.
Yes.
And I don't know, in the moment I was like, well, we're just bouncing back and forth. It's like, can we pick or at least move on elsewhere?
All right,
but
I could spend
I don't know, that's just me.
a lot of time talking about this book. However, I know we have a time limit and also a lot happens, but also a lot doesn't happen. So, let's talk about fixing the wards.
Okay, that was an integral plot point.
Yes. The first translation, when they're like, oh, we need, like, the blood of the 6 and 1, or whatever.
The 6 powerful riders,
and 1. It was 6 and 1. Obviously, they thought that it was, like, the riders, and then it was meant to be in an iron rain.
Also, quickly, how did they determine who are the 6 powerful riders?
I know.
Because surely something like that is subjective.
Yeah, and surely it was... Oh, because I think they went to, like, Tan and Segale.
Maybe.
And they would have said, it's these... But anyway, whatever. And then, blah, 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 ends up being the correct translation is in Iron Flame. So they realise it's Dragon Breath. Fine. And then Andana comes into play way afterwards. And turns out she is a 7th breed of dragon.
Yep.
Rare. And she said she's been waiting, 650 years?
A long-ass fucking time.
Until she hatched, because she heard her elders talk about Violet in her 18th year about this weak one, but who was going to be powerful. So
and she's like, I want that one. That is the ultimate, like, the puppy chooses you, and that is so epic.
Yes. So, let's skip some things, and let's talk about, because Violet has 2 signets, because she has 2 dragons, and Rebecca Yarros has confirmed that Violet's signet has already Violet's second signet has already manifested, her first being the lightning wielding, second one somewhat unknown, but it has already started manifesting. Claire, I have seen
don't ask me this question.
A lot of TikToks.
Okay.
And then also just from reading, I was like, I think it's going down this path. However, I'd like to ask you, what do you think?
I have no clue, bro. I'm dumb.
Okay.
I don't know. Does it have something to do with, like, she's training with Felix with the conduit item, and it's like she pulls energy strands, right? Mm-hmm. Could that be it?
No.
Part of it, essentially?
No, because that's part of lightning.
Well, then I don't...
Okay.
But like we don't actually know that though.
Okay. Would you like some theories?
I would love some theories.
All right. So the first one, not the first one, but like one of the ones is that Violet, because Andana essentially like she hid in the shadows, and then she also
Like camouflaged.
Yeah, and she camouflaged into the cliffside or whatever, and now she's changing her appearance. People think it's like a chameleon thing, so they think that Violet can like take on other people's signets. Or like amplify them, because Rhiannon couldn't move things through walls until... And then because Andana says, I will be where you need me, so it's about need, so Rhiannon couldn't bring things through walls until Violet needed her to be able to do that.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, and then there was a few other examples with like Riddick and Sawyer or whatever, but I fucking forget what their things are. And then the knife, the rune... She needed it to unlock, so it unlocked.
Yeah, Xaden said something about that as well, because the rune itself is when she needed it, which is pretty vague of a description to have for imbuing a rune.
Yes, I think this theory is bonk.
Oh, no?
Yeah, I don't think this is the right theory. I think Violet's just really powerful, and I just think that her friends are maturing in their own powers and like becoming really powerful.
Yeah, otherwise what's the point if they're all lagging behind?
Yeah, because I think there's significance of them being the Iron Squad and being like the only, 4 or 5 out of their year to get
core
through. Yeah, the core 4. Alright,
Yeah.
Here's some other things that make sense. The internet thinks, and I agree with this, that Violet has some sort of, like, can communicate with the dead situation, or like bring them
I feel that.
or bring them forth because of Liam.
And it hasn't happened again in the second part, which is like, why?
Exactly, and she was saying as well, like, he does, like, I think Liam said, I'm not a hallucination, or whatever, and Liam touched her. But I think, okay, so...
You've been sitting on this for a long time.
Why do you think they burn people's property when they die?
I think I said it last episode, but I don't remember. I think it's just to, I don't know, perhaps just remove them just from existence.
Okay,
perhaps.
cool. So I think that secrets die with the people who keep them.
That's right, that's the theme of the last part.
Exactly. So, and I feel like a lot of Violet's dad, for example, had a lot of secrets, and like probably Fen Ryerson had a lot of, like, people who knew like what's going on in the Venom.
The big boys.
Yes. So, who are 2 dead characters that Violet still has property of?
Liam,
yeah, because she has his letters.
and her father, because of the books.
Yes. So people and the internet and me
I feel like I'm in school right now.
believe that for Violet's signet to work, she has to have property of the person who died.
But technically, she gave the letters to Sloane.
But she has
now,
50
by this point.
Sloane hasn't gotten all of them yet.
Sloane is, yeah.
Or like their belongings are still in this plane of existence.
Sure. I can rally behind that.
So people think that because of the ending, that she's gonna like bring her father back somehow, or like talk to him.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna offer some wise words, and he's gonna be the ultimate hero.
Yes. Okay. Do you want some more theories?
Yeah, go on. I love this.
There was a really, really unhinged one, which I don't think it is true, but anyway. So it's that because of the time dilation thing, that Violet has done this all before. It's ended...
Time dilation?
Or like Andana can control time.
Right,
Not that she says that she can't anymore. But anyway, so people think that this has all happened before, and that it's ended in that Violet can't save who she wants to save. So she's like, you gotta send me back.
That is very unhinged.
Yeah, and do it all again. And that's why, like, Tan says, I know exactly who and what you are. Xaden says, you've been mine long before you could even know. You'll be the death of me.
You'll die for love.
You'll die for blah, 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 blah. I think that's unhinged.
Sounds fucking plausible to me. And given, like, a 7th species dragon, like, that's an air of unpredictability in itself. Interesting. Are there any more? Do you have any thoughts?
Okay, so in that correspondence, Violet's mother to Nolan, where he's like, I've looked for a cure everywhere, blah, 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 there is no cure, only power, or whatever. So it was from, I think she wasn't general, she was lieutenant, so it's in the past. So now, back to Tan, I know exactly who and what you are, Violet Sorrengail. So the illness that Violet's mum had when she was pregnant with Violet, so people either think that she became Venom to save Violet and then was looking for a cure, or her dad became Venom and Violet is half Venom.
Okay.
Which I think is true, because...
Why else would a random General Venom want specifically her?
Exactly, and then I think that leads into she's a new species, and so is Andana. And so that's why Andana was waiting and chose her, because she's like, you are like me, like...
If you think about, as well, in terms of just, like, the complement of, or the complement, maybe, of power, like, you know, being able to wield from the sky and the ground.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Another theory, Violet's dad is the Sage.
Oh, yeah. As we were discussing, that thought is crossing my mind currently, or I think in a way... No, that can't be possible. Never mind. Yep, I'll go with that one.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say Zayden's dad, but he got executed. He got...
Oh, yeah, and Zayden saw that, so...
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But unless someone did a switcheroo that we don't know about.
Maybe don't know.
There's still time.
All right, let's talk about the cliffhanger, if you will.
Okay.
All right, would you like to tell everyone what happens if they have not read the book? And what?
No, you can do it because you're better at it.
Okay, so Zayden becomes Venom.
Essentially. He made a deal of sorts.
And I had to read this passage like 17 times because I was very confused about what was happening. But as soon as he like refused to look Violet in the eye, I was like, oh no. Okay, some theories surrounding this. Violet's dreams. Remember how I was like, keep an eye. So
Yeah.
and it was like, you'll turn for love. Like, you'll switch sides for love. That was such a big theme. Okay, so obviously this can be directed at Violet as well, because like, to save Zayden, like, she'll probably go Venom as well. But
yeah, because she can't kill him because it'll kill her.
But also, Violet is someone who loves fiercely and openly, and she loves her brother, she loves her sister, she loves her mother, she loves Zayden, she loves everyone. Okay, it's fine. So people think that because of Zayden's intrinsic nature, and there was a couple of scenes where Violet seemed to be like watching from his perspective, or like she answered his thoughts out loud. So people think that maybe because they were sleeping next to each other, that these were his nightmares that he was projecting onto Violet. Yeah, and it's actually the Sage talking to Zayd and saying, "You'll switch."
Keeping that in.
That's an ominous
screaming for no reason.
There was a sound. Anyway, yeah. So people say that was his nightmares projecting onto Violet. You'll switch sides for love, because I think in Fourth Wing, Zayden like says he hasn't loved anyone, or like at the end, and when he's next to Violet's bedside, he's like, I didn't fight for you, like I haven't sat here for 3 days or whatever, and for you to die and me to not tell you I love you or whatever. So he's very reserved in his love. So
I got that because his whole last chapter with his interaction with the Sage and all that, it just seemed very familiar and reminiscent of Violet's dreams. So I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Or maybe is that part of her other signet that is connecting with nightmares and dreams?
Exactly,
and
that's
like
what people think.
Inevitably having adverse effects in real life. Like not that it's a premonition of sorts, but she could have that sort of. But I suppose signets can be very vague. Like with Zayden and he can sense intentions of people. Yeah. Like intention as a word can be. It's not pigeonholed.
Yeah.
So like maybe the dreaming thing can be something to do with Violet's second signet.
Yeah, for sure. And so, because I feel like Zayden is a person that he's very willing to die for the cause, and I think that because he knows that...
Well, he won't now.
Yeah, but I know that he knows that if he were to die, then that would make, like, Sorrengail die, and then Tan, and then obviously Violet. So I think that whole you'll turn for love is that he's like, I can't, because he could have chosen to just be killed, but he was like, instead, to keep everyone alive, I gotta turn.
He has to turn. Yeah. And then he's in the bottom of Basgiath or whatever, and he's in I suppose I would say like the torture chamber areas, I think, where we run him back into Jack, and he's like, I need the cure, or I need a cure or something.
Yeah, and Jack's like, there is no cure, there's only power.
And it's like, well, I guess we're brothers now or something.
Yeah.
That was creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Here we are, thinking he had a turnaround, but no, he was just biding his time.
Yeah. And then also that's why the internet believes that he saved Violet's life, because he was Venom and he knows that the Sage wants her.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. And for reasons we are yet to truly understand. Because if he just wanted a powerful wielder, he would just go after perhaps her mother or
Which is
Dane
why,
or someone else.
I think it's his dad. It's her dad, sorry. And I think because she's half a Venom, that there's going to be, like, extra things to do with her power.
Yeah, and then that can, in like future years or even hundreds of years, once handling that sort of magic and channeling can be refined to like another just magical art, and then there'll be peace amongst. But it's just about trying to control that power in a way and not be greedy about it. No, I like that. I don't know. I just find it sad that Violet's mother had thought Brennan has been dead this entire time, and now as she made her noble sacrifice into charging up the wardstone, she's like, I'm gonna see him again. And I'm like, even in death, like, I don't want her to have that another heartbreak where like, whatever their version of afterlife or whatever version she believes, like, she is hell-bent on seeing him, and if he's not gonna be there, that just breaks my heart again.
Okay.
You know,
New theory as well that I saw.
Alright, we're adding on to
So
this.
another theory is that, so there's lots of reference of Rhiannon and how she resembles Dune, the goddess of war or whatever, and then...
Do we not bring gods into this, please?
I know. And then also because apparently we spent a lot of time around her family and no one else's family, that we think that their family is going to play a big part in it, and that they have somehow connected to the gods. So maybe when Violet's mum was sick, another theory is that she made a deal with the gods, and then that saved Violet. And then when she says, I'll see him again, it's not their father that she's referring to, it's Malik.
I mean, the H was capitalized.
Yeah. And then that's also...
If it was just about her dead husband,
and then
it wouldn't
that's
have been
also
capitalized.
another reason as to why the Venom would want Violet, because you're a god, you have these two really powerful signets.
Damn. I don't know what to say. I'm shocked. But I like these theories, though. I like it. So, toying off of that and how it could affect Endana as well, being a seventh species, seemingly out of nowhere, could that also in itself be like a dragon god divine intervention of sorts?
Oh,
she is a young hatchling god dragon.
Yeah. Just a little bit of food for thought. When Xaden asks Violet if she trusts him, and she says, with my life.
Okay.
This is me now. Now that he's a Venom, like, that holds a lot more power. Like, would she still trust him with her life? Because...
Until she finds out, she will.
But then also that could have been a foreshadowing of him becoming Venom, because do you trust me? Yes, with my life. And to save her life, he became Venom.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure. But now he can pull a double entendre. He's like on the inside now with the Venom crew. And like he could obviously get information, and he could just mind psychic that to Violet if needed be. But then we have to get to the point of him telling her, and we know he doesn't like to tell her anything. Alright, here's my thing. Let's just talk about Xaden and Violet relationship in general. First part of the book, they're fighting because Xaden's been keeping rebellion secrets, and Violet hated that. Fair enough. She's out of the loop. She doesn't want to be out of the loop. Fair as day. Second part, it's all about, you just have to ask me these questions of what you want to know, and then I'll answer. I just think, like, it's very... I know it's more about his personal life and past, as opposed to...
and then it was about her mother giving him the scars. And then, making the deal to keep Violet safe or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But I just feel like it seemed very contradictory, or I don't know, it just didn't seem... The continuity of it just didn't seem great, because it's like, you're keeping secrets from me, I hate you. And then it's like, in the second part, all you have to do is ask. Yeah. And I don't know, just the continuity aspect of that really annoyed me, because, I had to skim a lot of their big conversations just because I'm like... You were fighting because you had secrets, and now you're just telling her to just ask him anything she wants, and he can answer. But it's like, bro, that's not the point.
Oh, and then also when she asked him, "What's your second signet?"
Oh,
and
yeah,
he was
I love
like,
that boss move.
"What?
What's a signet?" Yeah, it was very interesting. Just the general lore, LORE, of how dragons technically aren't they're not necessarily allowed to bond with direct descendants because it either brings a second signet and it brings madness. And now it's interesting that not due to that specific dragon lore, LORE, that now we have Violet going to be potentially having a second signet because Endana is bonded to her as a second separate dragon species. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how everything now plays out, because it changes everything.
Oh, for sure.
And obviously this is a big bad boy secret that the dragons are keeping from the humans. But as we say, they do not bow to the humans. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And one of the excerpts in the beginning of the chapter is like, the dragons were here first. Their words are law. L-A-W.
I know, it's hard being Australian, isn't it?
Law, porn and porn. What's going on? Do you have any favourite moments from this?
My house, my chair, my woman.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the sauciness and the spiciness of it, it was the declaration. Because he's like, don't give a shit what she says. Like,
wait. When she was on the throne and he like ate her out and all that, whatever the hell they did. He was like, or she reached into his mind and she was able to read.
Yes, this is where the theory of him projecting his thoughts onto her come from. Because, there was like a couple of moments, especially that one, where she could see what he was thinking. And then she responded out loud and he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, but like, could that be a part of the vaguity of his intention?
Maybe.
It could just be a part of that because, he's able to do or say or be able to manipulate the intention or figure out what the intention is and then, figure out how to make them on side. Yeah. And maybe that has something to do with that as well. I don't know. Yeah, well, my favourite moment when Andana killed
Oh,
Solus,
yes.
that was epic. Tan was all like that's going to leave a mark as a young adolescent dragon. Like, dragons don't kill other dragons willy-nilly. And so it's going to be like a burden for her to bear, and I wonder how that's going to impact her.
Maybe because she's that special type of dragon. Yeah, she's like, fuck it, I'm a god.
It's like what's wrong? Fuck it, I'm a god. I love that. Put that on a t-shirt with Andana's face. And obviously the other dragons had a little council meeting about that and was like, it was justified. But I'm glad that we're fully now kind of removed from Varish and Solus and like his influence. Even though he was a real asshole in the first half of the book, it seems his influence and what he did seemingly had no weight anymore. It was almost like, what's the point? I also really enjoyed, Felix teaching Violet how to...
Oh, I loved,
lightning.
He's just... like hard ass kind of demeanor about it as well.
But he's also right in a sense, because obviously Carr just wanted to witness
power,
quantity over quality aspect, and Felix really wanted her to hone in and be like, you need to be able to control this to a fucking T.
Yeah, it's like you need to be able to aim.
Yeah, and I love that just throughout the whole book, she's like, I just can't fucking aim, and it's like, yes, we love a protagonist who has something to develop and to strive.
Because when you do aim, it'll be worth it. Yeah,
it'll be worth it. There'll probably be a greater significant moment where she'll just wield it and then it'll just impact on whatever target she needs.
Alright, I want to talk about as well when Violet's mother says to her, you are greater than we ever expected you to be, or something like that. Or like, you're so much more than we dreamed of.
Okay.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
Unless there is a secret bonded rider and dragon out there who seems to have obviously divine connections. Because Violet, she sounds like a prophecy of sorts.
Because the dragon elders spoke of her. Yeah,
so like this. So it has to lead to the epic chosen one prophecy, which we love to see in our main characters. This is heading down that prophetic road where she is obviously the one that's going to save the day and become the most powerful, and all this is just, to amplify and heighten her and help develop her. And I don't know what this means for her mother.
Even in the first book, Rhiannon says, the first book, Rhiannon says to Violet that, like, Xaden's not the most powerful rider, she is. So...
But I hate that it's turning into this thing where everybody knows her potential but herself.
You have to see
I hate that.
Yourself. It's like, you can't love anyone else until you love yourself.
But I suppose... But then she should have, like, an opposite effect because everyone has been telling her how weak she is and she's trying to prove them wrong. But yeah, what a noble sacrifice her mother made. I was a bit... Because I was reading pretty quickly because I had to get this done. I was really confused what was happening with her mother and Sloane being like, Lilith was being very soothing and it's like, it's okay, you just got to do this and blah, blah, blah. And insane that she managed to use all her power and even
Well, I think
her dragon's power.
Violet wanted Sloane to drain her mother so that she would stop doing what she was doing, yeah.
She didn't do it. Yeah, because she realised what she's trying to do. But then it just means that, like, so long as you have a wielder that has a siphon signet, like, you don't need the dragon breath of 6 or 7 dragons to charge a wardstone anymore. So, interesting developments. What we know now is all different and perhaps false.
We'll see where it goes, I guess.
It was lovely to have, like, a family reunion with Brennan, Myra, Violet, as well as her mother, because her mother's like, and Brennan pulled a sort of rank. It sucks that they didn't have that time to not reconnect, but they never had a conversation. Well, we don't know if they've had a conversation when they were at Basgiath and amongst all the war and everything. Because otherwise, then it seems like her mother's just gonna die, or has died.
Realized that
potential regrets.
Brennan did it. He did what he did to save.
For sure. I still think they're gonna pull, like, a Violet's gonna have to kill Brennan at some point. I don't know. Even though he seems like a good kind of leader
There's
at this
some
point,
theories that he's sus.
I still think something. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Oh, not, like, I've just seen, like, why is Brennan giving off...
Like, super easygoing and very, like...
Yeah, why is he giving off sus vibes? Like, maybe because it's the middle of war.
Maybe he just strives for greater leadership power in the future as well, perhaps. Like, again, like a nobility title of sorts, once everything is all settled and if anything gets settled and back to a world working society.
Alright, I've done a lot of talking. Do you have anything to add to this?
Both parts are equivalent to 300 and odd pages. Like, a lot goes on, not a lot goes on. A lot goes on in the last 100 pages, of course. Ooh, I didn't appreciate that ever since part 2, it's just the Venom would just switch to be called Dark Wielders, as if anyone else ever knew what that actually meant. And then everyone just started saying it willy-nilly. It's like, just say they're Venom. What's going on? Unless Dark Wielders are like the lower hierarchy of the Venom or something. I don't know. I also enjoyed that we learnt a bit more of the Griffin Riders' lore, Lore, and the similarities between their, I suppose, chosen phases and their equivalent of a threshing phase. Like, it's very interesting to learn those little bits and pieces.
Oh, and how they jump off a cliff and they're like, oh, what, did the bodies just fall up to the shore? And they're like, what are you talking about? We just swim.
Yeah, we just hope for the best. All their interactions in that sense, like, they're all taken aback by each other's different processes. Because then it just leads to believe, like, Basgiath is just stupid and just killing off their people when they could be used elsewhere. Because, I think someone said, or the new friend that Violet made, she's like, well, then you just choose another specialty. Like, that's all there is to it. But I love that, you jump off a cliff, and if, like, a griffin catches, or if you land on a griffin, like, there you go. That's your pet now. Well done. Yeah. That was really cool. Oh, and that, I forgot how to say it again. Artia, whatever. Arisha has their own hatching ground now, so that's obviously perhaps, like, a significant place that's going to probably need to be protected because it'll probably become their own, it is now their own veil of sorts. And so, like, that will definitely be a nice attraction for potential venom attacks in the future. So it'll be interesting to see how they defend that now, because they're, again, bouncing back and forth between that place and Basgiath. And their wards are still iffy at this point. They're not as strong as what they thought. How do we feel about, like, Melgreen? Or Melgren?
General Melgren.
Yeah, and, like, his being able to foresee the battles. Yeah, I know we hate him, but I don't know. It seems weird. It's a stupid thing to lie about, but I suppose
he can see the outcome unless there's, 3 marked rebellion kids there. And so now, considering, like, most of their army is now marked rebellion kids.
He doesn't see anything. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say or think about, because I'm just confused.
Oh.
Is it only if the battle contains those people? Because, like, surely he could foresee skirmishes that don't have any of the Mark 1s involved.
Yeah, but what skirmishes are they going to have now where they're not involved?
But there are other outpost raids that had no Marked 1s involved. It's all from like, Mira's company. But I suppose Melgren is never going to tell her, oh, this is going to happen while you're out here. But it's just always convenient when it is obviously involving the Marked 1s that he can't see nothing.
Oh.
But then he still essentially lied about that other place, because it turns out they're trying to attack Basgiath anyway.
Do you have any Xaden theories?
Zayden, like Venom Zayden. Yeah. I think he is definitely going to have to serve as a double agent now. It's going to take a long time.
Read Vampire Academy ever?
I got up to the book where Dimitri got turned.
Yeah, so people would think it's going to be one of those situations.
Yeah, but I haven't read anything after that, so I don't know
most
like what
terrifying...
he did.
Oh, Rose, like, just like the power of love.
Of course, yeah. But like, did he full on just go batshit crazy, or was he more of a double agent?
No, he went bad.
Well, now he's going to be... Well, Zayden, in turn, is going to be addicted to power, so he's going to do what it takes. So, what has Nolan been feeding Jack, then? Is it just, like, to suppress the urge for power?
Maybe. Or maybe he's been letting Jack feed off his power.
Oh, isn't that what I said last week? Something along the lines?
Yeah, but I don't think you were as articulate, and I was confused.
No, I was not articulate. That's what I meant, though.
Okay, I was confused.
We'll go back. I think Nolan was used as a leech for Jack for whatever reason. Yeah. And now he's got to deal with fucking Zayden. So then why doesn't Nolan just tell people? Fucking hell. So Zayden theory. It's obviously going to take a long time for him to tell Violet what's going on because he's the master of secrets.
Well, she knows that he's Venom.
I don't think she knows, though.
Because of his eyes.
She made a comment, but that's not necessarily...
I think she knew.
I feel like we'd have more of an interaction of that confrontation, surely. I feel like she's just going to be like, he looks like Jack. Well, she'll make a connection, obviously. But I think she knows that something happened on the battlefield because he was fighting the Sage, and obviously he wasn't necessarily fine in the moment because he was losing, and then obviously he's alive. So obviously something is sus, but I don't think she actually...
I'm going to open my Kindle.
Okay, I don't remember. Like, I skimmed hard to get this done. I know you love to be right. You will die on this hill. But obviously they don't know that Jack is still alive. No, she just killed his dragon out of being fucking crazy. No, then he killed his dragon. He should have died, and now he's still alive again because of probably Nolan. I don't know what the fuck to think at this point. You know, Jack's in a fucking secret underground bunker. Jack is that cockroach that will just never die.
Okay, wait, maybe she doesn't know because she's sleeping next to him.
There we go.
Okay, now I'm scared. Okay, so I was confused. I was like, what's the cliffhanger? Okay, but that's the cliffhanger. Okay. I was like, this is a shit cliffhanger.
Mark this day that Kenzie is actually wrong about something. And now he's being very secretive and hiding, and he has to, he's becoming a venom cockroach like Jack. I think in order to appease his new semi-allegiance with the venom...
Oh, no, okay, hang on. Sorry. I think she's written it really badly. This is my qualm. My brow furrows. I just fought an entire Wyvern army, dark wielders, and raised wards, losing my mother in the process. Please do tell me what could possibly be scarier than that. You love me, he whispers. You know I do. I grab hold of his hand and my stomach twists when he turns towards me, but lowers his eyes. What's out there that I should be scared of, Zayden? What did he tell you? What did you see? What could he know that has him this shaken? Slowly he drags his gaze up my body, and it feels like it takes years for him to just look at me. When he finally does, I gasp, my hand tightening on his in reflex. No. That single word is all I can think, feel, scream internally as I stare up at the man I'm hopelessly in love with. Me, he whispers, a faint, almost indistinguishable red ring emanating from his gold-flecked onyx irises. You should be scared of me. But then it's Zayden's chapter, and he's all like, you should turn, blah, 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 blah. And then it goes, you cannot, Sorrengail shrieks, I chose you, but Violet chose me too. I reach, my heart stammers, and I gasp for air, jolting upright in bed. I check the back of my neck, but it's dry, no dripping sweat, no aching muscles, no exhaustion, just Violet sleeping beside me, her cheek resting on the pillow.
Maybe he's just in the process.
Maybe.
And he's going to be fighting it.
Or...
Because Jack is not fully venom.
Or... It's a dream.
It's a dream. What a shit writing. You wake up and it was all a dream.
All right.
Insane. So yeah, we don't know if she knows. I feel like in that moment, if she looked up at him and saw the red eyes, and she saw Jack having similar red eyes, you'd make that connection straight away, surely. Yeah. But now we're just making Violet seem dumb.
But also, maybe she doesn't realise, because in Fourth Wing, when she's challenging Jack, well, when Jack challenges her on the mat, she just makes a comment that, like, yeah, his eyes are red ringed. But and then every other, I think, maybe description of venom is just that they have distended veins and like around their eyes. Yeah. It's like, so maybe this is in the process of. Yeah. And I guess if you take more power or like channel more power, then like you do the full process.
Because you've then made the connection that he could have that Jack could have been turning venom the entire time of fourth.
Yeah, because he wanted more power. He was just hungry for power.
Yeah, for sure. And easy to manipulate if you can promise that sort of power on a young kid. All right, you had some other connections that you had to hide from me last week. Have we already discussed them, or do you want to bring them up right now?
No, we have discussed.
Oh, we have? Okay.
Yes. Also, however, the most scary thing I've ever read is that Xaden could be the Sam Cortland of Fourth Wing.
Yes, I know.
But I don't think...
Because there is plenty of time.
I think that, there's plenty of time because there's 3 more books. However, I think, like, the next book will be about, like, Xaden and Xaden struggling, and he probably will turn completely, and then Violet will have to find a cure, and that's how she'll have to contact her dad, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that Yarros would do that, because I think too many people would be like, this is Sam Cortland all over again.
But I suppose authors who have never read each other's works could have the same idea.
Yes, but I think there's enough comments out there that even if she didn't know who Sam Cortland was, she'd look it up. But I'm also pretty sure that Sarah J put a quote in here, like, oh my god, I love this book, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, yeah, sure. But here's the thing, now that she's going to be in the process of writing, she's going to have this sort of influence and backlash kind of in the back of her mind, and that's probably going to steer away from her original vision. So, like,
maybe, unless it's already been approved by her publishers and now you can't change it.
For sure, but, like, if she hasn't written anything, like...
But surely you can't have an outline of a story.
Sure, but, like, things chop and change all the time. So, yeah, I just hate how, if you're in the process of writing something and you're online scouting out or looking at feedback and all that stuff, I just don't like that potential influence, because then people are either going to recognize it and be like, oh yeah, this is definitely a Sam Cortland situation, or it's or she's obviously steered to another direction because everyone's been figuring stuff out and all that.
Maybe. Well, now hopefully that we've spoken about it, you'll get more on your FYP and I'll get more on my FYP, and we can see.
Yeah, I will actually now get to actually enjoy the spoilers and hashtag and mentions and stuff. Yeah, interesting. And Dana is the interesting one, and she is technically, or she presents herself as black scaled,
but she's actually green,
like that. But she's actually green, but she's actually gold.
Yes.
So she disguised.
So
would you say she disguised herself as a feathertail?
No, she started gold. And now I think maybe all feathertails maybe start gold.
Okay, until they mature. Yeah.
And then she was hiding her green scales as black.
Ah, okay.
Because she wanted to be like 10.
It wrong, but she wanted to be 10. That's so cute. I don't care what he says. She is his daughter. And Sorrengail's daughter. Although we didn't get much communication with Sorrengail in this book, though, which was disappointing.
I think because they were separated mostly.
Yeah, and I also, again, didn't appreciate the lack of Colonel Atos. Where the fuck did he weasel his way out? Because he was so significant in the first part, because he's like, War Games, what happened? I cannot actually accuse you of anything.
I'm gonna try and kill you every second I get. And
then suddenly second part he's gone. Like, where the fuck did he go? Too many characters also in this book. I don't, like, another quick qualm will be in a scene, can be battle brief, it could be them walking across the fields of Arisha, whatever the fuck. People will be talking, and then another character will pipe up, and it's like, oh, Sawyer said this, or someone said that, and it's like, since when were you
Well, this is like when Nadine died, and I was like, who the fuck is Nadine? However...
Same with the dragons.
Yeah. Same with the dragons. I forget whose dragons is who.
I want to meet the Emperor.
Yeah.
I want to meet the big boy dragons.
Yeah. I did like when, this is back in part 1 though, when Violet was getting tortured and Xaden saved her, and she's like, you came, and then Riddick's like, that's what she said. And I was like, oh my god, Riddick. Yeah, Riddick like the millennial representation.
Yeah, I don't care. I stand by what I said. I don't care about Riddick and Sawyer. Like, they just have their core 4 element. I don't care. I feel sorry for Sawyer now because, one, he has a huge crush on Jacinia, and he's lost his leg. Yeah. It's like, very Peter Malark. I liked early in the part 2 because Violet was technically still angry at Xaden. He's like, why are you mad at me for? I'm trying to protect you. And then she's like, because you're trying to be like Dane. And like, what a throw in the face. Also, I think Dane is redeemed-esque.
Maybe he'll get with Rhiannon.
Now, who?
Maybe he'll get with Rhiannon.
No, I don't want Rhiannon compromised like that. Okay. Rhiannon and Tara will remain the ship that's never seen, but always mentioned. Dane, what do we think of Dane?
I mean, redemption earned. He technically didn't mean to.
It was an accident.
The memories. Like, he didn't go searching. It just confirmed what he kind of already knew.
And yeah, it was an accident. And like, of course, Violet had every right to be angry at him and like not have him near her. So of course, we're not going to find that aspect out until later when they're What was that face?
Stretching. Sorry, I have a really sore back. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting cliffhanger. Rip Mama Sorrengail.
I understand the cliffhanger now.
Okay. You've been waiting all this time. Yeah. I'm glad that I blew your little mind. Considering you've been teaching me about stuff all week, I get to present you with this information. We're not quite even.
That's okay.
Alrighty, I suppose that is all. We didn't go through as in depth. Not even as in
I think when you have a book that is this popular and has this much of a cliffhanger or whatever, you just gotta focus on the theories, etc. And
you gotta focus on the action sequences and the big moments.
Alright, let's go to the stars.
We shall go to the stars that listen. Explain it away, Kenzie.
For those that don't know, the stars that listen is a segment that we do at the end of the podcast where we find a 5-star review and a 1-star review because we want other people's opinions and we don't want to end on a bad note, so we do the 5 stars last.
I knew you were going to do it at your normal speed. Or your desired speed. Alright, I'll do my 1-star review first. Okay. I got a couple just because they're funny. Alright, and we didn't look too far for these. These are pretty recent. I wish the dragons set the author on fire. Or better yet, I wish they set me on fire before I wasted 12 hours of my life on 800 pages of utter garbage. First of all, it's 600 pages, you asshole. Second of all, no, that was it for the first one. That was funny. Alright, this 1-star. When 6 + 1 = 7 is one of the big twists, you know you're in for a bad time. I'm still trying to figure out how to write an even slightly coherent review of whatever this was. But in the meantime, I wrote up a plot summary of this overstuffed and yet directionless book. You can read it here on my blog. There's a hyperlink. There are lots of spoilers, as you might imagine. I didn't read that last part, but when I screenshotted. But there we go. It was funny.
Okay. Mine. Violet somehow had time to shave her coochie while at war.
Hey, you get your bag. Yes. You get your bag.
And then the other one is 1 star because I'd rather go through open heart surgery without analgesia rather than read another book written by Rebecca Yarros.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
And then you go first, but I also have 2 5 stars.
Okay, yeah, I have 2. I have a bone to pick with this author. This cliffhanger is worse than the last one, but in a good way, because it's 5 stars.
Oh, yeah.
I probably read that wrong, but it's a compliment. Alright, and my second 5-star review. This is the wildest, most insane ride ever. I can't believe she did it. Once again, I'm bamboozled. Once again. Love that. That's it.
Alright, mine.
All love here.
My first 5-star is nobody talk to me, I'm having a mental breakdown.
Yes.
And then, just because this is relatable, I got married in July, but these books are still the best things that happened to me all year. And I got married in May, and same.
What does that say about your marriage?
My marriage is fine. Thank you very much.
I know. If you just wielded some shadows, you'll be great. You'll be fine. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, you can find us on Instagram at letterboxbookclub. From there, you will find our link tree in our bio, where you will then find us on all the places.
Yep, and next week will be Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. We had to rearrange our schedule, so that will be our one and only Christmas book for the year. For reasons.
I'll explain.
It's a little bit out of whack, but yeah, anyway.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.
Bye.